All right, so get this. Today we're going deep on this AI consultant, Elias Kouloures.
Okay.
And he's basically like on this mission, right, to get humanity to reach like Kardashev's civilization status.
Yeah, that's a pretty out there concept, isn't it?
It is. It is. We're not just talking about like, incremental progress. It's a whole fundamental like leap,
Right.
what our civilization can like even do.
Exactly. So the Kardashev scale is basically this like way to measure how advanced a civilization is based on, get this, how much energy it uses.
Huh.
And right now, humans, we're at like a measly zero point 0.7.
Point 0.7. What does that even like mean? Type 1, type 2, all that.
So like imagine if we could use all the energy the sun beams down to Earth, like all of it.
Whoa.
That's type 1. It's all about, mastering renewable energy on a scale that's like mind-boggling right now.
Okay, so we're going from like burning oil and gas to controlling the weather. That's
Yeah.
a big jump.
It is. But Elias, he's not shying away from it. He actually like sees these global challenges, right? Climate change, not enough resources, political stuff. He sees them as opportunities.
Kind of like, how's it, Elon Musk, right? Turns these crazy problems into like these super ambitious businesses.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. And actually, Elias, he straight up uses Musk's companies as like this framework for his whole strategy thing.
We've got his presentation right here, and it's super interesting how he breaks down each of Musk's 8 companies: SpaceX, Tesla, SolarCity, Neuralink, The Boring Company, OpenAI, Twitter, well, X now, I guess, and XAI.
He doesn't just like list them out. He analyzes what they do, their whole approach, how they like shook up the industries they're in.
It's like he's thinking, okay, if I was Elon Musk, how would I,
Yeah.
tackle these global things?
Right, exactly. And his answer? Blue ocean strategy.
Okay, now, for those of us who didn't go to business school, could you give us like the quick and dirty on what that even is? Blue ocean strategy.
So basically, it's all about making entirely new markets, right? Like uncharted territory where you can innovate and not get bogged down by, competing with everyone else. Think of it like this. Red oceans are packed with sharks, all fighting over the same scraps.
Makes sense.
Blue oceans are vast, unexplored, and full of, like, potential.
So Elias is saying, like, forget fighting over scraps. Let's make a whole new ocean.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And he doesn't just, talk about it. He's got 20 specific blue ocean strategies, each one targeting a different, like, global challenge.
Okay, well, let's dive into some of these strategies. Where does he even, like, begin?
He starts with a big one, creating an AI-optimized global energy network.
Ooh, okay, very Musk-like. I like it. What's the thinking there?
So Elias says our current energy infrastructure is like all over the place. It's not efficient and it's, hooked on fossil fuels. He's picturing this globally connected network that uses AI to like manage energy production, distribution, the whole thing, all in real time.
Hold on. So picture this: a world with no power outages, renewable energy, and like we're not at the mercy of, those crazy energy markets anymore.
That's the idea. And he sees companies like Tesla, SolarCity, and XAI as major players in this. Tesla's got the battery tech and energy storage. SolarCity's all about solar. And XAI can analyze massive amounts of data and like optimize super complex systems. It all kind of comes together.
So it's like taking what those companies are already doing, but like amped up to a global level.
Exactly. And that's just the start. His second blue ocean strategy is about education. He calls it the global personalized education platform.
So like an online learning platform, but like times 1,000.
It's more than that. He imagines this platform that uses AI to personalize education for everyone on the planet, no matter who they are, where they live, or how they learn best.
So instead of everyone getting the same thing, everyone gets like a custom-made education that fits them perfectly.
Exactly. And he sees Neuralink playing a part here. Not how you might think, though.
No brain implants.
Not yet, anyway. He's focused on Neuralink's ability to make those brain-computer interfaces that can, like, track learning progress and give real-time feedback.
So learning becomes not just personalized, but like super efficient and engaging too.
And accessible to everyone. He sees Starlink, which is Musk's satellite internet company, as the key to giving everyone internet access. So even the most remote places can, tap into this global education platform.
Okay, now we're seeing how the pieces fit. But surely he doesn't stop at education and energy, right?
Oh, absolutely not. Next up, he tackles healthcare with his AI-driven global healthcare system.
Let me guess. AI doctors diagnosing us through our phones.
Not quite that simple, but you're on the right track. He's talking about using AI to analyze all that medical data we have, personalize treatment plans, even develop new drugs and therapies.
So healthcare, that's not just more efficient and better, but like it anticipates problems before they even happen.
You got it. And this is where XAI's skills in machine learning and data analysis are really important. He sees XAI working with doctors to make algorithms that can find patterns in medical data that humans might miss.
Like having an AI assistant working in the background, constantly checking your health data and saying, hey, something's up.
And OpenAI could contribute by, making these realistic simulations of biological processes. So researchers can test new drugs and therapies virtually before they even start clinical trials.
So we're talking faster drug development, more accurate diagnoses, personalized treatment plans. This is sounding like a whole revolution in healthcare.
It's bold for sure, but Elias thinks it can be done if we have the right tech and human smarts working together.
Okay, we've got energy, education, healthcare. What's next on his list of, like, global challenges?
Well, he remembers the basics. Food. His fourth blue ocean strategy is the AI-powered Global Agriculture Optimization Network.
AI farmers taking over.
Not exactly, but it's about using AI to optimize everything about how we grow food. From picking the right crops and planting them to watering and pest control, the whole 9 yards.
I can picture it now. Drones flying over fields, sensors checking the soil, and AI making adjustments in real time to grow as much food as possible.
That's pretty much it. He sees Tesla's automation and robotics expertise being important here, along with XAI's ability to analyze environmental data and, predict the weather.
So food production becomes more efficient, more sustainable, and less vulnerable to, climate change.
And maybe even personalized. He's thinking about a world where we use AI to tailor food production to individual diets and preferences.
Whoa, that's taken farm to table to a whole new level. All right, I'm hooked. What other blue ocean strategies does he have up his sleeve?
We've just scratched the surface of these blue ocean strategies. Elias's goal is to, get us to that Kardashev civilization level, and that's going to take some serious innovative thinking.
And who better to do that thinking than someone who's, modeling themselves after Elon Musk?
Right, right. So far, we've talked about optimizing the systems we already have: energy, education, healthcare, agriculture, all that. But to really, make a jump on that Kardashev scale, we got to think bigger.
Okay, so where does he go from there? What's blue ocean strategy number 5?
This one's autonomous transportation revolutionized. Elias's point is that our current transportation systems, they're just not efficient. They're crowded and, they pollute a lot.
Yeah, I don't think rush hour traffic is going to get us to, a super advanced civilization. So what's the solution? Flying cars, teleportation.
He's a little more down to earth than that. He's focusing on autonomous vehicles and, making our infrastructure smarter. Think about a world where self-driving cars, trucks, even planes are moving smoothly through this network of smart roads and tunnels.
Okay, now that's some Elon Musk stuff right there. It sounds like a combo of Tesla's self-driving tech and the Boring Company's whole underground transportation thing.
Exactly. Tesla's got the electric vehicles and the autonomous driving down, but he also knows we got to rethink our whole transportation infrastructure. That's where the Boring Company comes in, with the tunneling and underground transportation.
So instead of just smarter cars, he's talking about building completely new routes, avoiding traffic, and, minimizing the impact on the environment.
Exactly. He imagines these underground tunnels made for autonomous vehicles. You could have high-speed travel going straight from one place to another without messing up things on the surface.
It's like a whole hidden transportation system that keeps everything moving.
And he doesn't stop there. He even thinks about using, AI-powered logistics to optimize how we transport cargo. Less waste, more efficiency across the whole supply chain.
So this isn't just about getting from A to B faster. It's about changing how we move stuff and people all over the world.
Exactly. And that ties into his next blue ocean strategy, AI-powered smart cities.
Okay, now we're getting into the sci-fi stuff. Cities that run themselves. What does he have in mind?
Think about cities that use AI to manage everything: traffic, energy use, waste, public safety, you name it.
So a smart home, but for a whole city.
It's even bigger than that. He's talking about cities that are in tune with what their people need, optimizing resources, anticipating problems, adapting to change, all in real time.
That's a pretty tall order. How does he think we can make that happen?
He sees a big role for XAI here. XAI could develop the algorithms that would power these smart cities. Imagine them analyzing tons of data from sensors all over the city, finding patterns and making predictions to make the city run better.
It's like the city has an AI brain, constantly learning and adapting to keep things smooth.
And he doesn't forget about people. He wants to integrate these smart city systems with platforms like X, the old Twitter, so people can give feedback and be part of the decision making.
So it's not just about making cities more efficient. It's about making them more democratic and, responsive to what people want.
Exactly. And that brings us to his seventh blue ocean strategy, space-based data services.
Okay, now we're getting futuristic. What's he talking about here?
Remember Starlink, Musk's satellite internet company? Elias sees it as the start of a whole new industry, providing data services from space.
So it's not just internet access. It's using those satellites to gather information and send it back down.
Right. Think about a bunch of satellites with super advanced sensors. They could be collecting data on everything, weather patterns, climate change, natural disasters, you name it.
That's a ton of data. What do we do with all that information?
That's where XAI comes in. He's thinking about using its powerful machine learning algorithms to analyze all that data. We could get real-time insights and predictions to improve everything from getting ready for disasters to managing our resources.
So it's like a global data network that helps us understand the planet and react to stuff more effectively.
And maybe even create new economic opportunities. Companies could develop new apps and services using the space data. We could have a whole space-based economy.
Okay, we've gone from self-driving cars to AI-run cities to data from space. I feel like I'm in a sci-fi movie.
And we're just getting started. His next three blue ocean strategies, that's when things get really mind-blowing.
Okay, hit me. What's next on this wild ride?
Elias, he really goes for it in these last few blue ocean strategies. He's talking about ideas that, make you wonder if we're about to live in a sci-fi world or something.
All right, I'm ready. What's number 8?
He calls this one the global neural network. The idea is to, use tech to connect everyone's minds globally, create some kind of collective consciousness.
Hold on. Now we're talking. Mind-blowing territory for sure. How would something like that even work?
And Neuralink, that's the key, he thinks. Remember we talked about how it could be used for personalized education?
Yeah.
Well, he wants to go way beyond that.
So instead of just tracking brain activity for learning, we're talking about actual communication, between minds.
Exactly. Imagine a world where you could share thoughts, ideas, even feelings directly. No need for words or being in the same place.
Like telepathy, but with technology.
That's the idea. He thinks this could totally change how humans understand each other and work together. Scientists from all over the world collaborating instantly, artists sharing their vision, even experiencing the world through someone else's eyes.
That's pretty radical. I mean, I see the potential, but what about privacy? Who controls all that?
Oh, he knows. He talks about those ethical concerns, definitely emphasizes that we need to think carefully about safeguards and all that. It's not like a done deal, more like a possible future that's worth exploring.
Okay, so we've linked up everyone's brains.
Mhm.
What's next? Building spaceships.
You're closer than you think. His ninth blue ocean strategy is AI-assisted construction of space-based megastructures.
Megastructures. Like what we talk Death Stars now?
Not quite that dramatic, but the scale is huge.
Hmm.
Think about massive solar power satellites beaming down clean energy, or orbital platforms where we launch spaceships and do research, or giant space habitats for whole populations.
Okay, this is definitely sounding like some sci-fi stuff. How are we supposed to build things like that?
He sees it as this, multifaceted challenge. We need advances in robotics, materials, and obviously artificial intelligence.
So it's not enough to just have the idea. You got to have the tools and the tech to make it happen.
Exactly. And he thinks those tools are getting closer. Look at 3D printing, self-assembling materials, AI-powered design software. All that's moving fast.
So combining those new technologies with, human ingenuity, we could achieve something incredible.
Right. And he sees a role for all of Musk's companies here. SpaceX getting us to orbit and back, Tesla with their robotics and automation, XAI managing the design and construction, which would be super complex.
Like a whole orchestra of technology playing together to create something that would have been impossible not that long ago.
Which leads to his final, and maybe the most audacious, blue ocean strategy. AI-enabled space utilization, and Mars colonization.
Mars colonization. Okay, now he's going full Elon Musk.
He argues that if humanity wants to survive long-term, we got to become a multiplanetary species.
Makes sense. Putting all our eggs in one basket on one planet is kind of risky. But colonizing Mars, that's a whole other challenge.
He knows it'll be tough, but thinks it's doable if we combine the right tech and determination.
So how do we do it?
He's got this phased approach. First, establish a permanent base on the moon, then build a self-sustaining colony on Mars.
So not just like planting a flag and saying we're here. It's about making a real new home for humans.
Exactly. And AI is essential every step of the way. Designing and building the habitats, managing resources, adapting to Mars, which is a pretty harsh environment.
Like building a whole new civilization from scratch, but with AI as our partner.
Right. And he sees this Mars colony as like a test run. We can try out the technologies and systems we'd need to colonize other planets, maybe even other solar systems eventually.
Okay, we've gone from harnessing the sun's energy to living on Mars. Elias's ambition, I'm starting to think it has no limits.
And that's the point of his presentation, really. It's not just the specific technologies or strategies. It's more like the mindset, the belief that we can solve any problem, get past any obstacle, and do things that seem impossible.
It's like a reminder that the future doesn't just happen, we make it with our vision, our creativity, and our willingness to like push the limits of what we think is possible.
Exactly. And maybe not every single one of Elias's ideas will work out, but what he's done is like give us a map, a glimpse of what could be if humanity breaks free from its limits and reaches for the stars.
And that's a future worth fighting for. This has been The Deep Dive, and we'll catch you next time as we explore more knowledge and ideas.